Very good afternoon to all brothers and sisters in the Dhamma. Today is the 5th March 2023, Sunday class. So we'll continue our sharing from this book, the 84th lesson of the 6 Patriarchs Platform Sutra, chapter 10, the final instruction. We are at page 52. 南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无阿弥陀佛，南无阿弥陀佛，南无阿弥陀佛，南无弥勒佛。南无弥勒佛，南无弥勒佛，南无普贤菩萨，南无普贤菩萨，南无普贤菩萨，南无地藏王菩萨，南无地藏王菩萨，南无地藏王菩萨，南无佛菩萨，南无佛菩萨，南无佛菩萨。อะระหังสัมมาสัมพุทโธภะคะวาพุทธังภะคะวันตังอะภิวาเทมิสุกาโตภะคะวะตาธัมโมธัมมังนัมมัสสามิสุปฏิปันโนภะคะวะโตสาวกสังโฆสังฆังนามามินะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะบุตตังสรณังกัจฉามิธัมมังสรณังกัจฉามิสังฆังสรณังกัจฉามิDutiyampi Buddhang Saranang Gacchami Dutiyampi Dhammang Saranang Gacchami Dutiyampi Sanghang Saranang Gacchami Tatiyampi Buddhang Saranang Gacchami Tatiyampi Dhammang Saranang Gacchami Tatiyampi Sanghang Saranang Gacchami Panati Pata Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami Adina Dana Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami Kamesu Miccachara Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami Musawada Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami Surameraya Majapamadatthana Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami Sadhu Sadhu Sadhu. Okay, let's pay respect, Triple Jam. Padang Pujemi. Dhammang Pujemi. Sanghang Pujemi. Invocation to the Devas. In this universe, in the entirety, let the deities and devas come here. Let them hear the good teachings of the King of Sages, which gives heaven and release, Nibbana. This is the time to listen to the teaching. This is the time to listen to the teaching. This is the time to listen to the teaching. Samanta Chakawalesu Atra Gachantu Devata Saddhamang Muni Rajasa Sunantu Sakemokadang Dhamma Savanan Kalo Ayang Badanta Dhamma Savanan Kalo Ayang Badanta Dhamma Savanan Kalo Ayang Badanta Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahanto Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Iti Peso Bhagava Arahang Samma Sambuddho Ita Charana Sampanno Sugato Lokavido Anuttaro Purisa Dhammasarati Satta Deva Manusanang Buddho Bhagavati Swakato Bhagavata Dhammo Sanditiko Akaliko Ehipaseko Opanayiko Pacyatang Veditabo Vinohiti Supatipanno Bhagavato Sāvaka Sangho Ujjupatipanno Bhagavato Sāvaka Sangho Nyayapatipanno Bhagavato Sāvaka Sangho Samicipatipanno Bhagavato Sāvaka Sangho Yadidang Chatari Purisa Yogani Atta Purisa Pugala Esa Bhagavato Sāvaka Sangho Ahoneyo Pahoneyo Dakkeneyo Anjali Karaniyo Anuttarang Punyang Ketang Lokasati Sadhu Sadhu Sadhu. Okay, you can be seated. Then now we shall continue from where we stopped, page 52 of this book, the 84th lesson of the 6th Patriarch Platform Sutra, chapter 10, the final instruction. Okay, we shall proceed to the next part of the sutta. After speaking this verse, the master sat upright until the third watch, when suddenly he said to his disciple, I am going. In bracket, I commented, what does he mean? Yes, he is going for parinibbana, means he is leaving his physical form behind. In an instant he changed, and a rare fragrance filled the room. Do you know how the fragrance comes about? You mean somebody brings in perfume? No, why? Because the Devas came and paid their respect. That's why the fragrance is very strong, and it filled the whole room. and a white rainbow linked with the earth and the tree in the woods turn white. See, this is what the Buddha called nature's phenomena, termed Dhamma Niyama. The birds and the animals cry out in sorrow. So I commented in bracket, I said, no, I don't think this part is correct. Of course, some will be sad, but they don't cry out in sorrow. They will pay their respect. Then the commentary by Master Xuan Hu. The Master sat meditating with his disciple until the middle of the night. At 12 o'clock, when he said, "The time has come for me to go. See you all again." At that time, his energy was cut off. So this one, I commented in the bracket. This one is not his energy was cut off. His life force that sustained the pulsation of life within the physical, the life force ceased. And he no longer moved. Means he had entered nirvana, or the mind realizes itself and ceases. Then this one is the final cessation for that segmented life. The final cessation, when it happens, they call it Pali Nibbana. It's not just realizing Nibbana, but Pali Nibbana. So Pali Nibbana is another word for this enlightened being that decide to cease, or they know the time has come for it to cease. Like the Buddha, 3 months before it happened, he knew. So all this can happen. Then in bracket I commented the word enter nirvana is not such an appropriate word, because you cannot enter nirvana. It should be he realized nirvana, or the form and mind realizes itself and cease, completely cease. He changed means he moved to a new house. Here Shenhua means he take another body as a bodhisattva. So here I commented again, no, after Parinibbana there is no new house for him. Who moved? The flesh body of the bodhisattva, I commented. He didn't move anyway. His nature is still around. Only his form and mind ceases. So this is the understanding. The great being, when they pass away, the form and mind ceases. So that segment of the life, no more. So the reason for all this is because the conscious mind, which is the mundane mind, realizes itself and the condition no more for existence, which means the life force that sustains the form and mind is cut off when it goes into cessation. When it goes into cessation, the stillness, the pure energy will make the body remain for a while. So this part, only the enlightened being who has gone through all this can develop the understanding. Because like I explained in the early days, as a human being, as a living being, we need 3 important causes and conditions to animate this form and mind into what we call a live entity. So the 3 conditions that sustain that life, they are basically a physical body that is functioning, means no problem. The organ or everything, the senses, they are normal, functioning. Then you need to have a consciousness that is already from birth until then residing inside. Then number 3 is the life force, the karmic force, the energy from the karmic nature to pump the heart and sustain the conscious being and make it having the ability to be conscious. Then it can perform the function of a living being. So when that enlightened being realizes Paninibbana, what happens is the life force ceases. And when the life force ceases, the physical together with the mental, they will separate. Where there is no more life force to pump the heart, to send the blood, to nourish all this, and create the sustenance for the living being to continue its function. So when that happens, everything will like within the stillness slowly dissipate. So like I explained, the pure energy will make the body remain what it is for a while. Then after that, it will go through the normal death process, but in a slightly different manner, because that body that goes through the cessation, the pure energy inside and the environment is very different. That's why there is a lot of nature's phenomena, Dhamma niyama arising. The fragrance is associated with the Devas that came and pay respect and descend, because these Devas, they know. That's why they came. And when they came, that fragrance is very fragrant, very fragrant. You have to experience it, smell it, and you know it's really very fragrant. And when they come in one big group, you can sense it. Our physical senses can pick it up, and it's very strong, very fragrant, very strong. Then of course, the other thing is the nature around, they also can sense because of that pure energy, the stillness and the nature's phenomena. So a lot of things will happen. That's why after that, I think it continued. The forest turned white because the white rainbow light shone on it. You could also say that the trees knew the master was dead, and so they expressed their grief. This is what Shenhua tried to explain. So the word used is actually not so appropriate. Actually, it is not grief. I put in the comment inverted comma. By wearing the white cloth of mourning. So normally when people pass away, the Chinese custom or tradition, you tend to wear this, they call it the mourning type of clothing. Some wear black, some wear white. So it depends. But for those who have the understanding, they don't go and mourn, like cry in grief, No. They will develop the understanding, and through their understanding, they do what they have to do. Normally, there is no crying, no mourning. Of course, some who are still at various stages of cultivation, they will recall to mind, recollect how the master has actually taught them, helped them, then the gratitude, the whatever, can bring forth that emotional, that piety, that gratitude towards the master, then that joy and all those things. Then sometimes they may shed tears, but these are not tears of grief. is how they relate the understanding. So what Master Shen Hua has said is actually they express their grief by mowing, because the white color denotes the mowing color of the clothing that they wear. So this is added by Shen Hua, his personal understanding to express it. Then the next sentence is, all the animals on the mountain cry uncontrollably. Then again I commented, oh no, this one is nature's phenomenon, it's not crying. They, of course, they make certain sound. Then there is this, what they call silence within nature. And of course some, they can feel something great has just passed by. It's just like if you have pets, dogs, cats, or whatever pets that you have, suddenly the owner no more, pass away. So they will have that type of feeling. Then they will go through that type of what they call mental reaction. So you can see this quite common in the animals, because they have more emotion, feeling, rather than thinking. Their thoughts are less complicated, less heedless. They are more rational living beings. Means they have great filial piety towards their owner, or the one that take care of them, have relationship with them, and they can feel their love and all those things. So when the owner has passed away, all these animals, they have certain way of like responding to what happened, and most of the time is through very beautiful expression of understanding, gratitude, and love. Sometimes they can just sit there, become like, of course we use the word like they are very sad. It's not sad, it's they miss their owner and all those things. So what Xianhua put here is, the animals on the mountain cry uncontrollably. So this is his way of expressing it. But all this are what I call Dhamma Niyama, nature's phenomena. Then grass and trees seems to be without feeling. No, they continue as normal, I commented. But they put on mowing clothes. This is Xianhua's version. Again, I say, oh, this one is also an added version by Master Xianhua, because they have this description that everything like reflected, turned white. Then birds and animals ordinarily don't understand very much, but they show for a spiritual nature and weep. Weeping, I may agree, I put in the comment. Some may have weep or cry. So this is very natural. Then the next part of the sutta. In the 11th month, a dispute arose among the officials, disciples, Sangha, and lay people of the three countries. I think it must be the three counties, not the three countries. The three counties of Guangzhou, Shaozhou, and Xingzhou, his hometown, as to who should receive the true body, means the physical body of Huineng. This one also has a story, right? Do you know finally how they decide? They Zhong Hyong means they actually burn the joystick, which means they light the incense to see where the smoke's direction is, and then they decide and agree upon by following the smoke's direction. As they could not agree, they light incense and pray, saying, "The master will be returned to the place indicated by the incense smoke." So the smoke went directly to Sao Si, his birthplace. And so on the 13th day of the 11th month, the reliquary and the transmitted robe and bowl were returned there. In the following year, on the 25th day of the 7th month, the body was removed from the reliquary, and disciple Fang Bian anointed it with incense paste, remembering the prophecy that his head would be taken. The disciple wrapped sheets of steel or iron and lacquer cloth around his head for protection, and then placed his body in the pagoda. Just then, a white light appeared within the pagoda, shot up into the sky, and did not fade for 3 days. The magistrate of Saochou reported this to the emperor and received an imperial order to erect a stone tablet commemorating the master's conduct in the way. The master's spring and autumn were 76. The robe was transmitted to him when he was 24. So 76 minus 24 means he actually came out to share for 52 years, which means he passed away at the age of 76. 76 minus 24 years 52 means for 52 years he continued from his awakening at the 5th Patriarch's temple. Then he was with the hunters for 15 years. So 52 minus 15 years, 37 years of formal teaching when he came out. And when he was 39, his hair was shaved, means he ordained. For 37 years he spoke Dhamma to benefit living beings. 43 men inherited his Dhamma. So in bracket I commented, Bratio commented, I thought there are ladies bhikkhuni also, which is true. It's not just men. And an uncountable number awakened to the way and overstepped the common law. The robe of belief transmitted from Bodhidharma, the Mona robe, and the precious bowl conferred by Emperor Zhongxuan, as well as the lifelike image sculpture of Fang Bian and other articles of the way were entrusted to the attendant in charge of the stupa and were permanently retained in the Paoling Bodhi Mandala for the mandala's protection. The platform Sutra has been transmitted to set forth the principles of our school, to glorify the Triple Gem and to benefit all living beings. So this is how it ends. So the 6th Patriarch Platform Sutta that has been transmitted to set forth the principles for healing school. They call it the Southern School. It's mainly to benefit living beings, to glorify the Triple Gem, and transform living beings. Okay, then we go to a commentary. Those from Guangzhou wanted to take the body to Fa Xing Temple. The sixth patriarch has his head shaved there, means he renounced there. He should return here now to receive offerings. Then the Xingzhou people also said, the great master is a native of Xingzhou. He should return here. He should return there. And those of Shaozhou insisted that since the patriarch had expounded his teaching there, he should not be returned to that place. While the patriarch was alive, he had never quarreled. While the patriarch was alive, they had never quarreled over him, for he had been most independent. But now that the master has completed the stillness, means has gone to Parinibbana, and everyone felt as if they personally had the right to remove his body and make offerings to it. Wasn't the sixth patriarch originally from Xingzhou? And didn't the master himself say falling leaf returns to the root? But the sixth patriarch himself built Nanhua temples, say those of Shaozhou. He really should return them there. The patriarch left home in Guangzhou. He let his hair fall there, and his Dhamma should all fall back to us. The text say that they could not agree, and that indicates that the situation was extremely grave. It was almost a crisis. Everyone was trying to take the body away by force. They argue and argue until one intelligent person says, "Stop. While he was alive, we obeyed the master's instruction. Now that he is dead, we should listen to him too. Let's ask the master to decide." So I commented in bracket, a smart fellow. But he's already dead, they said. How can he tell us where he wants to go? Then this smart guy replied, "The master has great spiritual power," he said, "and he knows all of our thoughts. It must displease him to see us fighting over the right to make offering to his body. Let's light some incense, and in whatever direction the smoke drifts, that is where the master wants to go. And no one can argue about it." The smoke went straight to Nanhua Temple, and there was nothing the people of Guangzhou and Xingzhou could say. So the lecture was now complete, and the sutra has been explained. We had undergone much suffering, but I don't know whether you realize it was suffering or not. If you felt it was suffering, you are just a common person. But if you did not feel that it was suffering, that you are just a rock or a piece of wood, well, was it suffering? As to my explanation, which is Zhenhua, I don't know whether I explain well or badly, and I also don't know if you listen well or badly. Good and bad, get rid of them both. Means you have to transcend duality, go beyond duality. Explaining is just explaining, and listening is just listening. So this phrase or sentence is very profound. Then Shenhua continued, "We have met because of karmic affinity." This is very true. We have heard the story of the sixth patriarch's life and of his cultivation of the way. You should not look for good or bad points, but look instead to see whether you believe. Advance down the right road and retreat from wrong. This is their expression. You should cultivate according to the Dhamma. Memorize the last verse of this sutra and recite it often. For if you reflect on its meaning, you will certainly realize Buddhahood. And don't discriminate as to whether I explain the sutta well or not. Just look to see whether or not you develop the cultivation. If you cultivate what is bad, it's good. But if you do not cultivate what is good, it's bad. Okay, then we continue. Now I'm going to ask you a question. The sixth patriarch was an illiterate, and illiterate cannot have much knowledge. So this is very profound. The word cannot have much knowledge. How could someone who couldn't read or speak a sutta, what does this mean? Someone who couldn't read or speak a sutta, without much knowledge, becomes so wise. Then the student replied, I think the sutra shows that you don't need a lot of scholarly learning in order to become enlightened. The sudden teaching is just the mind, realizing the mind, and we should do it. Then I commented in bracket, what do you think of this student's answer? What is more important, the Dhamma, the awakening? Is not the knowledge. That's why we don't need to have school knowledge. You can be an illiterate who had never gone to school, because truth is truth. When you awaken to it, you will understand. Because wisdom is not monopolized by those intellects who are very knowledgeable. No, the intellect can show off the amount of knowledge they have. But wisdom depends on your past training, your karmic nature, your spiritual nature, and your condition when you are here. Do you understand? That's why never look down upon yourself. Don't go and deludedly say, this is not for me. How can I realize this profound teaching? I am indeed very stupid. Don't go and create your own fear and lack of confidence, especially for those people who don't understand. They worry so much and they commented, you want to take the Bodhisattva vow? Do you think you qualify? Do you know it takes eons and eons of life? If you think this way, it means you don't have to understand it. That's why do not underestimate who you are and what you are. You can never know. And during the time of the Buddha, it is the same. There were a few of his disciples who didn't have much knowledge. There was one monk, his memory was very poor. He cannot even remember one stanza of a sutta. And yet he became an arahant after the Buddha guided him. The Buddha said to the monk, okay, you don't have to meditate. He just gave him a piece of white cloth and asked him to clean it up. The more he cleaned, the dirtier the white cloth becomes. Then all of a sudden, without remembering a single stanza that the Buddha shared in his teaching, he suddenly became an arahant. Do you know how he can become an arahant? I will explain this. In our annual meditation retreat sharing, I had explained this in our annual meditation retreat sharing many times before. So I will give you a white cloth and ask you to go and wash it, clean it. Can you become an arahant? Why cannot? Do you know what happened? The more he tried to clean it, he realized the more stain went in. Then all of a sudden he realized no wonder he cannot become enlightened. Because he recalled the words of the Buddha. He cannot remember the stanza. But he recalled what the Buddha said. Your self-nature, your true nature, your true mind is originally already pure and complete. It's because of ignorance and delusion that defilement went in and make it contaminated. Then he suddenly matched the two. Oh, I say, yeah. If I don't use my mundane mind to stain it or wash it, this fellow, the true mind, was already there, was already pure, complete. So from that moment, he didn't want to believe his thought anymore. He just silenced his mind, relaxed, and went into that state of stillness, leading to cessation. And then he awakened, and he became an arahant. Do you think his past life had nothing to do with what happened? During his past life, he had cultivated before, and he most likely had put in a lot of hard work before. Do you understand? That's why he had this karmic condition to awaken in this manner, this life. He must have said something not appropriate to people during his past life for him to have this type of karmic obstruction. Maybe as a teacher, he simply tells his student, "You're good for nothing." One stanza also cannot remember. How can you become enlightened? So he has said this, it can become a karmic obstruction. So this is the likely reason how such negative karmic fruition can come back all the way to haunt him. But because of his past parami, the Buddha knew his past karmic condition, and he gave him the right conditions so that he can awaken. There was another case of a goldsmith's son. He has been a goldsmith's son for the past 500 lives. But Sariputta didn't know this. He was a student of Sariputta. Sariputta knew that he was a very wealthy goldsmith's son, a very rich and a very materialistic one. Do you know what object of meditation Sariputta gave him? He asked him to meditate on death, contemplate on death, means Marana Nusati. The son of the goldsmith, he had been dealing with gold for 500 lives because he was born 500 times in a goldsmith family. And he loves gold. When you ask him to meditate on death, it is so boring. He cannot develop the meditation. So the Buddha knew. The Buddha took over from Sariputta and called this monk in and said, "Okay, I will give you a new meditation object." So he created, using his psychic ability, a Buddha image made of gold. And he said, use this Buddha image and meditate on the Buddha's nine great virtues. He was full of joy because it connects back to what he liked, his passion. So he kept on appreciating the beautiful golden image of the Buddha that the Buddha gave him as an object of meditation. Then he developed good mind states, samadhi, stillness, etc. Through his strong faith, the spiritual faculty of saddha, virya, and sati leading to samadhi. Then all of a sudden, when he was in the midst of that, the Buddha, through his psychic, knew what happened, then caused the Buddha image to disintegrate and melt away. The moment the Buddha image disintegrate and melt away or decay, at that moment he became an arahant. He awakened, where he realized even such beautiful ornament like gold can just wither, disintegrate, and decay away. What more about his own physical body? Then he realized the form is only element, goes the way of nature. Then all the essential teachings of the Buddha, he suddenly can understand, and they came back to him. That's how he developed the awakening. So you don't have to be a special bright student to awaken. Just like when an illiterate, he can also awaken. But you need to diligently cultivate to develop the condition for your awakening. Just cultivate the three things that I used to advise you all. What are the three things? have faith. The first criteria means you must have faith in the Buddha's teaching. Then the faith will drive you to have the virya. Then the second one is be sincere. Sincerity means sincerely seeking truth to liberate from birth and death, to be free of all suffering, to develop the wisdom to understand life and live life to the fullest. So faith and sincerity will prevent you from getting lost or treading the wrong way. Then after that, you just need the final condition, which is perseverance. Whatever happens, continue to persevere. The way will be there. Everything will follow you. You have these three beautiful mindsets. Means saddha, sincerity, and perseverance. So it means you can have very strong, unshakable faith and sincerity, then diligently walk the Dhamma way, cultivate, and you will realize this understanding is more important. The student is also not bad. He said the Sutra show that you don't need a lot of scholarly learning in order to become enlightened. Then he said, the southern teaching is just about the mind, realizing the mind, and we should do it. So to him, he just wants to realize the true mind. And to do that is not difficult. The first hallmark of awakening, if you don't realize your true mind, develop the ability to be aware, mindful, leading to heedfulness, then there is no real cultivation. Okay, then I ask, who else have other views? Well, this is a democracy, so you can speak up. Does anyone else have another opinion or way of expressing it? Then the student replied, Master, when the sixth Patriarch was about to enter Nirvana, he said, see you later. Where is he now? He comes right from where you are speaking. Now, why was it that the Master never learned or read? During the time of the sixth Patriarch, schools were not available at all. And to attend school, you have to have money. The sixth Patriarch's family was extremely poor, where his father was an honest official who never took bribes. As a boy, even getting food to eat was a problem for the Master. So of course he couldn't go to school. It was a question of circumstances then. He never learned to read because his family was too poor and because schools were not available in the place he stayed. But there is yet another reason. Why did the sixth Patriarch choose to appear in a poor family? He did it to show us that even illiterates can realize Buddhahood and become patriarchs. Thus he raised the hopes of those who could not read. This could be one of the reasons, I commented. But personally, my nature understands the sixth Patriarch won't come in that way just because he wants to have this understanding. No. All of these cultivators, they won't do that. It is because of his parents' affinity. There is something that they must have done for his nature before. That's why he chooses them. He chooses them as his parent. And for Huining, with that type of nature, he didn't have to worry about where he is born. That's why he knew this parent that come may be very poor in a very remote place. But because of his nature, he must have made the vow with such understanding as he was born without the mundane mind. So anywhere he is born, he was still awakened. So why must he choose? No need, right? Just like my nature this life when I come. I knew why I chose my parents, where they have benefited me before. In certain life, they did certain things which they themselves do not know because they don't know who I am, what I am, and what my nature was. But that life, they were also poor and simple people, yet they took care of me. They did certain wholesomeness to my nature without them realizing it. That's why when this nature of mine sees this type of condition, it will manifest a pure wish to take them across, to bring forth the condition for them to receive the Dhamma. And my nature knows the best way is to become their children. Once they become my parents, their future is taken care of straight away, where I knew they are sincere people. They may be poor, illiterate, as both my parents didn't really go to school. My father only attended 2 years of informal school in China. My mother is totally illiterate. The number 0 to 9 also she didn't know how to write, but my nature knew. These are sincere and responsible parents who will try to take care of their children. That's why my mother and father were so blessed. And they had those type of paramis. All their children not only survive but are healthy. Until my neighbor knew, because she had one grandson, my neighbor, who every now and then falls sick, very difficult to raise, and was still young. Then this old lady, our neighbor, saw my dad and my mom like very blessed, where he gave birth to 9 kids. All of them not only survived, they were brought up in a very nice way with good blessing. And she knew my parents were very kind. So she told her daughter, why not go and ask for permission for their children, means the neighbor's grandson, to become my father's godson, or foster son, and make my father the godfather of their son, or my neighbor's grandson. And really they requested. Then my father just smiled and asked, why? You can go and care to the Devas, because become like godson to the Devas, which is better, right? She replied, no, 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 no. My mother said, you all have good blessings. Or I use the word parami. Your children are all very healthy. My father asked the opinion of my mother, and they both agreed to accept the adoption. Immediately after that, their son also has no more problem, became a normal, healthy child. That's why every year the son will come together with the parent and pay his respect to my parents. Then during my father's funeral, many years later, about 20 or to 30 years later, he also wore the mourning clothes and followed us with the chanting ceremony, etc. That's why sometimes you cannot understand all these things. You are thinking this is fairy tale, but it's not. That's why my nature also knew. They will bring us up sincerely. They will become very responsible. And that parami alone is enough for my nature to help evoke, using their power of merits for causes and conditions, for them to have the Buddha Dhamma in whatever rhyme of existence they may be after their passing away. All their future will be taken care of, so they don't have to worry anymore. This is something that these great beings will know. They know how to manifest it. That's why I said not lightly. Okay, then we will read on. Okay, maybe we stop here. We stop here. What is this page? 63. Okay, 45 minutes of silent awareness-based meditation. Okay. Okay, you all can slowly, mindfully come out of the meditation. Try to maintain whatever inner peace, inner calmness, and inner awareness that you have developed for as long as you can. Stabilize this mind state so that you are all the time while living life aware, mindful. So this awareness within, which is ever mindful, constantly meditative, is what Apamada is all about, heedfulness is all about. When you are heedful in this state of mind, you are destined for enlightenment. You will realize the supreme enlightenment of Nibbana. Okay, now we'll continue with our second session, which is meditation reporting, followed by whatever question, Q&A, or Dhamma sharing regarding your own experience, Dhamma in daily life.
Good evening, Brother, Mrs. Steele, and all Karamita. Thank you, Sister Amy. Actually, 我的 sharing 其实没有什么，还有一点点罢了。
可以啊，你可以 continue。
Actually，那天我的 sharing 是讲到我的那个 meditation，等我出来之后，after that 我就没有去就说没有去回想它。但是有一天到 Thursday 那天我驾车的时候，它的 reflection 好像自动的出来 and then 那个 Dharma 自己出来 develop 那个 understanding，就是那个 understanding 就是没有字这样，好像你没有语言去，它只是一下子这样子出来。So then 我就 recall 就讲了一个 quote 说 Let the Dharma come to you。
对，不要去找。
对，所以我就想，原来是这样的，原来 Brad 就讲的是这样。
对，他自己被现出来的。
对，所以就所以就觉得很奥妙，所以这只是我的一个小小的分享。So 感恩啊 Brad 就感恩是心比阿弥陀佛。
阿弥陀佛 Very good. Maybe I add on a little bit to what Sister Alicia has shared with us. As you cultivate, as a cultivator, you have developed this inner awareness in you. Your nature will start to slowly develop. Develop in the sense that it will start to activate at your heart area. Then it starts to open up. Then as you stabilize this inner awareness, your true mind or silent mind become more and more clear to you, more and more developed to you. And as you do stay there longer and longer until you can listen from there, hear everything from there, or do whatever you are doing in life from there, means you are at the heart area, means your awareness nature there. Then you will realize your awareness is separated from your forehead, which is the brain, the memory, the conditioning, the belief system. So that one will still be there, don't worry. That one, whatever knowledge, whatever memory, whether it's psychological or mechanical or normal, useful memory, it will stay up there, don't worry. But don't go and cling onto it, grasp onto it, and worry about it. Because once you go there, thought take over. When I say thought take over, means it cannot manifest the Dhamma anymore, the truth anymore. When thought take over, it becomes knowledge. It becomes more and more knowledge. So unless you have the wisdom and the understanding and know how to use thought, is the user of thought has the Dhamma understanding and the wisdom, and then it's different. Then you can go up, reflect, contemplate, or recollect, then inquire. So when you do that, during that time, it becomes different because you don't have delusion anymore. You have rooted it out. You have already developed the understanding. So you can reflect, contemplate, inquire, recollect, and stabilize your second turning wisdom. So at that time, you will know how to apply the four right effort to arise the right thought that are still not in you and to refine upon it and perfect it. So all those things you can do. So that is the later part of your cultivation. Once you have stabilized your awareness nature, develop the initial wisdom, then as you continue to cultivate and live life, you will come to this realization like I described in the last previous Sunday when I shared the 84th lesson of the Sixth Patriarch Platform Sutra. After I remember Sister Ingbi asked that question. Okay, the question is on page 38. So Sister Ingbi asked, breath till when we are silent aware of the breathing, whether in or out breath, or when we are silent aware of the heartbeat, are we actually at the active specific phenomenon? Well, okay, I now recall already. So from there, I actually explain the whole cultivation part. So when we develop the awareness within, the main intent and purpose is to let our mind enter sati. So anapanasati also same. Initially is mindfulness of the in and out breath. Then as you do that, the whatever progress you make will give rise to all the factors of, I should say, not really enlightenment. Initially, it's the jhanic factors. You finally go deep and become absorption and all those things. But you stay at the awareness level and develop it until upachara samadhi and you don't go too deep, then you will experience the initial, what they call jhanic factor. The mindfulness will make you calm, composed, aware, without thought. Then you will experience piti. Piti will arise. Piti is a spiritual calmness, spiritual joy. Then from there, you will start to see nimitta. Most people will experience that. Then you like very interested in it. It's like very interesting, very nice, something that you have never experienced before. You have done it for the first time. Then that nimitta actually will make you very calm, very peaceful. What is nimitta is sankhara activity and movement. When you are aware, peaceful and calm, when thought is less active, so the sankhara fall into a very soothing type of mind state, like it become very more collected. The movement become like slow down, everything. Then this one depend on personality. It manifests certain color. That's why those who are able to develop this nimitta, they will see their own nimitta. Different people, different nimitta, different movement, different color and all things. But these are actually our mind in a more calm and collected state. So as this thing move, you continue to relax into it and maintain awareness. Initially, you want to play with it, develop absorption, go into a deeper state of concentration. You can just find out, like what I did before I reversed to daily mindfulness in the early day when I was in the university. You can play with it. But the main intent of anapanasati, like the Buddha explained under Kayanupassana, the first category of cultivation, is to develop sati. That's it. Initial sati means you develop mindfulness of the in and out breath. So normally what happens is, as you develop, it becomes more and more calm, more and more peaceful, because you are more and more aware without thought. Then as this absorption becomes more stable, even the subtle thinking, the activity of mind, all become like very little. That's why most people will go through piti, then develop the sukhang. But some may did not develop the sukhang, where this is something that they may not like or what. But most people will end up experiencing the sukhang. Then they go into absorption or one-pointedness, depend on their past and all those things. If they are familiar with the 40 object of meditation, most of them will go into one-pointedness. But for me, my nature, I was lucky because I don't like to do those one-pointedness things, because my past cultivation has protected me from doing all those things. So I didn't go into it, but I went into continuous mindfulness, and I went deep into anapana or apana samadhi. So what happened was, even when I'm deep into it, I know how to release it and come out to normal awareness. And I know how to stay with the anapanasati until the anapanasati become like no more breathing, like hardly any breathing. It become very subtle, very subtle. When it become very subtle, that time, strangely, I know what to do. Although I attended retreat, all those things, but none of the teacher know what this is and know how to guide. So, and most of the time they are teaching other things, rising, falling, and all the so-called vipassana and jnana and all those things. But I know what to do, so I stay there until the breath no more. Then I continue to silence until my mind enters sati. At that time, I don't know what mind enters sati means, because there was nobody to teach me all those things. Then I experienced that type of movement, like magnify. All my movement is like magnify. And at that time, I realized whatever I do, the awareness is like magnify. Then like everything appears slow moving to me. Then after that, I remember I start to stay at the breath there again. Then to my surprise, this time even the subtle breathing, I can pick it up. That's how I came to know my mindfulness has reached another level of refinement when mind enters sati. So this mindfulness that was more refined, pick it up. Then I can be aware of the subtle breathing. Then later on, it lead to the internal breathing. It's no more external breathing, like I didn't breathe. But there is this subtle breath movement which is very sensitive. It's called the internal breathing. It's not external anymore. Like the long breath, no more. Initially, it's a long breath that gives rise to piti, sukhang, then deep absorption. As you draw your breath with mindfulness, the long breath, one breath can be very long, then it go into deep absorption, and you stay there very still. Then one pointedness, if people do the focusing and all those things. But mine, because of the continuous mindfulness, it become very calm, very still, until it become very quiet. Then the breath starts to become very subtle, subtle until like no more breath. So this is what anapanasati is for, not the deep absorption and all that. After you do that, you're supposed to stop. Stop. Stay at the breath. No movement, no mind. Let the silent mind awareness develop until very stable, more refined. Then the mind enter sati. That's why I can share with you, teach you, guide you all to do this. So whatever object of meditation you do, it will finally end up like very subtle. Right? There is no more movement. Your object of meditation is very still. So don't worry. Don't go and do sitting touching. Forget about it. Continue to relax and silence your mind. This is where the understanding that give rise to the four support come about. Don't try to know, don't try to do anything. Stay with the silent mind. Just stay away until the mind enters sati. So that is where you have to develop it. Then when your mind enters sati, stabilize, you come out of it, you can see all the movement. It's like you are aware of your physical activity. Every action, every movement, you are aware. When you bow, that thing is there. You go through the transcript of that last Sunday on, the previous Sunday on. It's all described inside there. The stages all explained inside there. So your awareness is transformed. Like after the mind enters sati, everything you see is in sati. You hear is in sati. Smell, taste, tactile feel, all things that recollect the thought is all in sati. Then your sati can actually track this specific phenomenal awareness of all your physical movement and mental activity and nature's movement. It tracks everything. Then it can also silence and develop spacious awareness without a center. That's how it develops. And quite a few of our Kayamita is able to do this already, mind and the sati. Then after that, when they do the formal meditation, they go to the fourth support. They stay at the heart. Then use trust. Let the nature, without interference of the thought and the memory, to actually develop the understanding and movement. So that fourth support will lead them to the ability to locate the gateway where their nature is. Then something will happen. Initially, you will know one. When you detect that one, don't be excited. When it comes, it will have its own movement and you feel very good. Different people experience it differently. But the ultimate movement is the same. It actually enters the gateway. For mine, it's like the thing becomes quiet, very still, then it locate. Then there is a very soothing flow of all the external energy, the yin-yang energy that I have developed to whatever anapanasati or whatever, even if other people do tai chi or what, or if they stay at the heart, build up all the energy. Like last time I returned my daily mindfulness to my heart before I locate the gateway. All this energy, they will actually melt inside there and become pure energy. Then is that movement. Different people will describe it differently. Like Sister Poh Cheng described it like a tunnel suddenly opened up, then everything melted. Then for Alicia, she also reported. Her case is slightly different. I cannot remember how she described it, but it's slightly different. But ultimately, it's the same. Because that one, once it melts inside, become pure energy, it will do the internal movement, internal activity. Then whatever chakras or nadis that need to be activated, that nature's pure energy will move there and do the activation. Then you just relax, deep into it, relax, and develop the stability of it. That one can go on for very long, many months or period. Then like later unending because the whole movement is different. Then when you come out, you become different again. That's why that is the stage where later on, like what Alicia is going through now, his experience, she will be able to go into this state very fast, and the deep state within that nature, then like the consciousness is like completely no more with the mundane consciousness. then it takes a while for it to come out. So sometimes when they are in the meditation, even in our half an hour or 45 minutes of class, after having the bell, they will know, they feel that they don't want to come out, because it's still inside doing all those things. So I used to advise them, you continue to do. Then when it's time to come out, you will know, and you can decide to come out, and then you slowly come out. When you come out, your senses has not come back to you yet. Yeah, you are with that nature. But as you come out to normal awareness, then you become normal again. Then the sense activity or will starts to like develop the movement again. But it's like slow motion. You can see everything like slow down. The sense data, everything. That's how you function as you start to see the interplay of your senses. How upon contact, not words anymore. You witness it there and then. Then after that, you can actually listen to the sharing or share or whatever. Then later on, after you go through all this experience, then in your daily life you become very different. It's like Alicia experienced while driving. Suddenly the understanding will come. It will manifest. Like this Dhamma, the understanding come to you. You don't have to search for it. You don't have to look for it. Then there is another one which I earlier explained. After you have developed this stability, when you go to your contemplation that time, because you have to recollect and recall to memory what happened and all those things. So during that time when you reflect, contemplate and inquire, because you have the Dhamma understanding and the initial wisdom already. So all this can also give rise to understanding, awakening. But that one, please don't get it wrong, that one is no more thinking already. Because that thinking phase, before you have the Dhamma, and the contemplation and reflection when you have the Dhamma is totally different one. That's why during that phase, you can understand a lot of things. Then everything that arises within life give rise to understanding one. Yeah. You no need to use your knowledge to develop the understanding. You don't need to like normal people think and develop. No. When you contemplate, the understanding stabilize, that one will happen naturally most of the time. That's why that time understanding keep on arising. That whatever that arise within nature, even while you are driving or while you are resting or where you are doing something, like in the time of the Buddha, some of the bhikkhuni and the bhikkhu, they become enlightened because of certain activity that happen, because their mind is in sati already, in that state. So during that time, any movement, any phenomena, sometimes they hear sound, they can just go into that nature. Then it will just awaken them. Then sometimes it is, theirs is the other way around. They didn't locate the gateway. Then this one trigger on, then they went in. They went in, then they come out. After that, they understand the Dhamma already. So that one, most of that one, they didn't take the Bodhisattva way one. They go in just like that. But for those who go and take the Bodhisattva, they will go in through the gateway one. Then they don't have to experience all those things like other people experience, like sudden explosion and all those things within the consciousness. Like there's a burst in consciousness, explosion, which I heard my teacher, they all told me before, but I didn't have to go through all those things because mine go through the gateway. So all these are possible. Yeah. All these are cultivation that you can develop. Yeah. So during this phase when you progress already, the understanding become different. It unfold in different manner, which is like Alicia mentioned, it's not from the thought. That's why it's beyond thought, beyond mind. It's from the nature that is aware, stable. It can have that understanding. Then it can just awaken in the here and the now, in the midst of life. Then a lot of things after that, as you continue to live life and stay with the Dhamma, then there is a lot of, I should say, Dhamma possibility that keep on arising. Then later on, even when you read books, it becomes very different. The book that don't have the Dhamma one, you know one, you don't want to waste your time on. But the book that has the Dhamma, you will keep on reading one. You keep on rejoicing one. Then sometimes if you have not reached that stage of cultivation, is that true within the Mahayana Sutta or what, you will come to great rejoicing and awakening on. Like Hui Ning when he heard that thing. Yeah, he's illiterate. He only have the hearing. He cannot read because he didn't go to school. But for us who have the education, I would say you have the advantage. You can read. You don't have to hear people like recite or proclaim or whatever. You can read it up even internet or whatever. Uh, so maybe nowadays with the advent of the internet and the availability of all this Dhamma material within the society. Earlier on, before the internet, the advent of the internet, you have to go to a library or go to all this like Phổ Quang San or one, where they have this the Dhamma academy, or they specialize in what they call in the like the teaching of the Dhamma. So they are very good at it. So you go there, they have all this Sutra and all those things very systematically developed, and you can go there and read or listen to their sharing and all things, and you learn. Where it is meant for people who wants to develop understanding of the Buddhist teaching. Then you go Fa Kusan, they specialize in meditation. Then you go Tzu they specialize in love and compassion, means the application of the Dhamma in the midst of life. So they do the work of the Bodhisattva. They call it Ren Jian Pusa, means Bodhisattva within the living world, means in society. So all these are different. Then there is another tradition in Taiwan that we visit, the Zhongtai Changshi. The abbot they specialize in helping people to plant the seed of Bodhi to take the Bodhisattva vow. So there are different traditions doing different Dhamma work. So as you go through the cultivation, all this, the moment you visit their way place or you read about what they do, you will know what their function and their purpose is or are for the development of the greater good of society and all those things. That's why all this, nobody teach me, nobody tell me, but I see. That's why that Taiwan trip was meant to be very unique. And everything just fall into place. That's why I wrote about it in my sharing, in my transcript book and all those things. So all this can come up. It's because the understanding you cannot find actually in normal books. So after the advent of the internet, being literate maybe has its use and also advantage or benefit. But the true Dhamma, you don't need education. You don't have to be an intellect to develop the understanding. But for nowadays society, I believe, if you don't have basic education, you are at a disadvantage. Because it's not like Hui Ning's time, where life are slow moving and you can rely on people doing all the chanting and reciting all the sutra and all those things to you. But nowadays society is very different. even my era, the 50s and the 60s, we are born in the 50s, the 60s, 70s. I go through the old and the new, the transition period which my nature chose. But even after I go through this, I look at how the last 30 to 40 years, the 3 to 4 decades, especially after the 80s, 90s, then the year 2000 until now, 23, the last 30, 40 years, the progress has been tremendous. So now even if I don't keep up with the IT advancement, artificial intelligence, they not only have artificial intelligence, they got virtual reality, and there's another augmented reality, AR. I start to learn. I started to learn all these things. Augmented one is like Sui got one friend. I think Kok Wai. She went to Ho Kwang San. She stayed there. They use this augmented reality technology. He said, you can use your handphone, point at the temple. That's why they are very advanced. They don't need to put the sign there to explain what this bodhisattva is. The straight away, it will manifest on your handphone to see what this great being is. And all the thing that they want to let you know is augmented in that building design and all those things. So you only have to point. It's not like virtual reality where you are inside the virtual reality to see and all those things. No. So augmented reality, virtual reality, AI, and now you got all the chat, GPT, and you got all the new thing. I tell you, you don't follow all this, you are not educated. How can you cope? Things are moving in such fast pace. And data, like my daughter tell me, internet, what they call, we went through a few, agriculture revolution, then after that industrial revolution, then technological revolution. No? That's why they call it IT, internet technology. And IT is about how to collect all this data. That's why now we got big data and all those things. And all this data with the computer, they can really come to understand a lot of things. Human behavior, sociology, or whatever. They can know your lifestyle, what you like. That's why the internet, once you go and Google, or you do whatever, they know what you like. That advertisement will prop up. That social media will prop up. That's why recently only I came to know why a lot of people came to know me because of the short video. Actually, it prop up. When they search for this thing, it come out. Search for this thing, it come out. You don't believe, you go and try. Yeah. So all this is what the world is now. Society is now. It's no more like in the olden days. Even you go back to the 70s and the 80s, you cannot cope with this style of society's movement and life. I was lucky because during that time, the 50s and 60s, actually very few people can excel in the academic field. Even to pass Form 3 is a rare thing in my village. And passing Form 5 is already a big announcement and big news. A lot of Japan can become teacher already, can apply to teacher training, can become teachers, then can become nurse and all those things. But a lot of people fail Form 3, then they go to vocational school. Then after you have your Form 5, you can go and study in the, what they call, technical college. You can do diploma, then degree, then advanced diploma, then degree. But for me, I was lucky. I did very well. Then I go to Form 6. Then Form 6, that time for us is either you become a professional, engineer, doctors, accountant, lawyers, or you become normal science student and now doing teaching, and they call it diploma in education. Then you can also do study applied science. Then USM have more of the other courses, housing, building, and planning. So all these are the courses available. So because of that, actually at that time, because we have our old boys chat group, we come to realize during that time, because we are the cream of our own state, actually when we reach Form 6, the number of students become very little, from almost 20 classes, and we end up after Form 5, the science only 3 classes, then arts of course another 2 classes. So these are the cream of the state. Where ours is a top school, and we end up with only about maybe 100 over, plus the art maybe 200 over students for the whole state now, who can have opportunity to take Form 6 HSC to go university. And that time for non-Malays was very difficult. So those who managed to go into the uni, I think less than half. Most of them go overseas because they had no choice. They go overseas. I mean for non-Malays. Then finally, almost all the non-Malays, they managed to at least make it with a degree. Then you look at how it happened. Then you know at that time, for us, our generation, when you have the degree and all those things, professional, it's very easy for us to make a difference to our materialistic life, our career. That's why we all end up in the city and relatively rather successful. But nowadays, the generation is different. We were discussing about our children and all those things. Then I realized now in the society, almost everybody is a graduate. And a lot have masters and PhD, especially MBA and all those things. And it's so competitive. And to really make it in this era of society is not easy, not like our time and all those things. So this is all happening. That's why Dhamma is not just about the Dhamma knowledge or Dhamma understanding, the Dhamma cultivation. It's about life. It's about humanistic culture, human nature. It's about existence. It's about understanding the evolution. Now, that's why the Bodhisattva way can give you such understanding. If you don't take the Bodhisattva way, if you don't go through the eons and eons of evolution and cultivation, you can never be exposed to all this, and you can never develop such understanding. Because such understanding is only within the spiritual field understanding, combining with the technical field or the humanistic science type of understanding, that the individual can develop and evolve. If you don't have the spiritual understanding, you are limited to the technical and the humanistic understanding of society. But together with the spiritual, you understand the whole movement, and all these things that I'm sharing with you all and explaining to you all. That's why it's very unique and very different. The era you come, the decade that we go through, we are like so blessed. It's the golden era, and most of us make it. Understand? We are actually the top 1% or one that make it and relatively successful in life. And we have this understanding. Then for Kayamita, you have the added understanding of the Dhamma. And this is very useful, Without the Dhamma, you can still go wrong and end up suffering and having a lot of misery, affliction, despite your willpower, your technological intellect and all those things that make you maybe successful in the academic field, followed by your career. Materialistically, maybe you do very well, but without a spiritual understanding, the spiritual uh, training and wisdom, it's not easy to cope with life. So this part, hopefully, with this sharing, you all will develop better understanding and stronger faith to cultivate the inner awareness within, stabilize it, then develop this ability to develop the awakening, the wisdom and the understanding faster and faster so that you can move in this direction. To have all this understanding, then life become different. Life become meaningful. You develop the heedful living instead of the usual hectic, heedless type of living. So the inner awareness is very important. Stability of that leading to heedful living, leading to understanding and awakening of the truth. Dhamma cultivation and understanding is very useful. Okay, so with this, we pass back to Sister Envy. Envy?
Yeah, thank you very much, Matthew, for explaining very your own experience since the 50s until now.
Yeah, that one is very unique. You cannot find from other people
Yeah.
because the spiritual understanding allow me to have all this understanding.
Hello. Amitabha.
Yeah.
Already I was in the kitchen preparing
Oh,
my
no
dinner.
wonder. Sadhu, sadhu.
But I was listening.
Good.
Yeah, so
At
it's
least you
okay.
are,
Yeah,
yeah.
I can still answer now.
Good.
Yeah. Matthew, this is a very interesting sharing today.
Yeah. This one you almost listen. Actually,
Yes,
very interesting and
yes.
very useful.
Very interesting and very useful
Yeah.
in terms of the spiritual cultivation,
Yes.
Matthew. Yeah, actually, I really admire this six Patriarch Master
Yeah.
Huining.
Yeah.
I think it also how do I say? Because of his sudden awakening, his sudden
Yes.
teaching, right? It
Yes.
kind of how you call it, inspire me,
Yeah.
me to walk the path of the Bodhisattva.
Yeah.
Also,
Yeah.
when I first read the book by
Mm.
Brother Theo, right?
Mm.
So this sudden teaching or so-called Southern School or whatever,
Yes.
it is very how you call that? When I first read it or heard it, it's like how do I say it? It's like give me the kind of inspiration and sudden push.
Yeah,
That
because it's so amazing,
yes.
that teaching. It takes
Yes,
you direct to the silent mind, the truth,
correct.
to realize our nature. So no need to waste time,
Yes.
not wasting.
So, in light of that, right, I like to share my experience.
Good.
My
Sadhu.
experience about spiritual cultivation,
Sadhu.
I can actually how do I say? All my experience is very strange and peculiar one,
Definitely,
Okay,
because for you, you will go through those phases also, and you will come to know them. It's very peculiar and very, like when I was young, I knew my nature not
yes,
normal. Uh,
yes. All the thing that happens to me are very abnormal, very strange, very peculiar.
Correct.
But in a way, it's also a test for me.
Yes.
Well, the test is super difficult.
Yeah. Very true.
After I gone through it, I
Mm.
tell you, it's really difficult.
Yeah, not
It's
easy.
like it's not easy. I tell you, without my spiritual cultivation, I'm like I don't know how that I can survive it.
You cannot cook one without the spiritual cultivation. You
I
cannot cook.
cannot cook. So actually, I'm very thankful that I had this bodhisattva wow that protect me, that really protect me and help me to give me guidance, give me a lot of support, a lot of blessing, protection, guidance and support,
Yes,
but otherwise I cannot go through it without it.
definitely.
Yes, so it actually give me a lot of confidence and strong faith after going through this, because to me, without that, I think I will crumple, crumple means I will fall apart. I will fall apart,
Yeah, fall apart.
Yes, crumple, right? Correct or not the word?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
You will
Crumble,
break
yes.
down.
Break down. I will break down. Okay, how it happens is like this. Actually, it's a very tough experience for me. I mean, even though I'm cultivating, I'm a cultivator, right?
Yes.
I'm a serious cultivator, but it's also very tough for me.
Yes.
So what happened is I went through a karmic friction, Brother Teo.
Wow, sadhu.
It is a very tough test. And in my daily life, I was doing my things, my chores, that kind of thing. And then suddenly I felt that there's something wrong with me, There's something wrong with me. I feel the pain, I mean, I feel the pain, but I was not like I can endure it, okay? Because it's coming slowly and slowly.
Correct.
I stop it. I stop the whatever activity I'm doing. Then the pain disappear, Brother Teo. So in a way, this thing is very strange. It's very elusive, meaning it come and go and come and go. So I cannot, how do you get? I cannot feel the fullness of this happening, the arising and the disappearing of it, So it's very elusive. It come and go and come and go. It's like a trick to me, It's testing me. It's really a trick to me, So initially it was not so severe. So I can bear with it. I can endure that because I know it's some kind of something happening to me. But I do not know what is that, Brother Teo, okay?
Initially it's like that.
Yes. So I do not know, but I continue with my daily thing, do whatever I do.
The perseverance.
Yes. So and then it come to this one day, it really hit me so hard that I cannot do my daily chores, Brother. I was like, let's say I was doing my puja, even my puja, I finished my puja, I suddenly feel this pain that I cannot go on anymore. But luckily I finished my puja, Brother. I was sitting down doing the bowing, right? When I finished, I just bow, right? And this pain was so tremendous that I mean, of course I know why is that this pain. I mean, I've been doing this bowing for many years. I don't have problem,
Correct, yes.
So it's like it hit me when I'm doing bowing, So I have to stop everything and then went to rest lah. I know something is not right.
Correct.
Okay? Something not right.
So,
yes. So I rested. I rested on my bed and I also meditated a while lah. But and because of that, I don't know, this karmic thing make me so tired that I fell asleep, while meditating. But it's okay for me. I rested and then I feel good after that. Okay. I come out of it. I rested. I feel a lot better. Then I continue with my chores. You see, this thing very elusive. Elusive means I cannot know what is going on.
Correct. Means you cannot pinpoint what is the actual problem.
Yes, actual problem with it. I know something is happening, but I do not know what is that.
Okay. Initially, it's like that.
So it happened for a few days. It's like that. Wow, it's like making me going around like what is going on. It's very elusive. Very elusive. Cannot catch it. Cannot catch it. So for me, very simply, because for me, I still need to do my religious routine. So I told the Triple Gem and the Guan Yin, I cannot, you see, totally, Brother, I cannot even, when I'm standing, I cannot even, how you can say, squat down, I cannot from a standing position and squat down and do the bowing. I cannot, I cannot. You will feel the pain, the severe pain, the pain, Okay, so I said I won't do the bowing lah. I will just do the chanting, standing. There's nothing wrong with it lah. You know what I mean? I still continue. So I asked the permission to do the whatever puja daily that I will be standing, and then I'll do a half bow instead of the bowing. So I will just continue doing it. Mindfully. And because of this problem, right, Brother Teo, from waking moment, when from the time I wake up, I was very mindful, every step I do, because I want to be able to see what is going on, in my body, in my body. So my kaya nupasana was triggered, triggered. So I was very mindful. But the thing is so elusive, I cannot find. And then what happened? I said, never mind. I will just continue to. You see, I just felt that this karmic thing made me very tired, so I just have to rest. I continue to rest and then do my meditation lying down. Okay, and then recovered in a way. It recovered, helped me, but it's not totally. I still know that something is not fixed and not fixed. So daily, while I was doing my chores, right, then this understanding came. It just popped up, and it says, you must go meditation now, So I went to meditate. But actually before that, I've been doing the meditation, but nothing fixed the problem. Okay, but in that understanding, you know what I see, in the understanding tell me, you will find out in your meditation,
sadhu.
Okay, so I said this is like a clue to me, a hint to me, a hint to me, a guide to me.
Correct.
So I felt like, I got the answer, but I do not know how to do it, because every time I do, Brother Teo, I fall asleep, because I was so tired. This coming thing made me very tired.
The karmic obstruction is like that. Sometimes it comes, it's very severe. It's a great test. Like your case is a very severe great test.
Yes. I tell you, it was like my whole body is breaking down, Brother Teo. I can feel my body is breaking down, that I never feel before,
Correct, because you already have the Dhamma you can endure, and yet it can push you to that type of limits, which is something, luckily is coming. A lot to do with coming. That's why I read the Bodhisattva understanding, vow, and all those things. It can allow you to develop the strength to endure and to continue with all this. Very good.
Yes. So what happened was, I before I got this message that come to me, I was just continue with my chores, continue with my religious routine, and also seek guidance, protection, blessing, and the usual from the Triple Gem and Kuan Yin. Yes, correct. So I just I've been doing the meditation lying down, okay, because I cannot actually sit for long also.
No need to
if
sit.
I sit for long, the pain come, you know what I mean?
It will harm you.
So yes, it will harm me, correct. It will harm me, So I have to lie down. Fortunately, okay. So that's what I've been doing, lying down. But I felt that lying down cannot help me also. I was thinking, because I always too tired and then fell asleep, you see. So I gain nothing out of it in that sense. Although I feel my body is rested, I can continue with my chores the next day and so forth, you see. Okay. So I decided on that day, actually, I did some lying down meditation already. I feel rested. Then actually, Brother Teo, I tell you, this thing happening for 1 week plus, 1 week plus, I'm coping with that, okay. So I told myself, okay, this time I'm going to take a shower. After that, I'm going to do sitting meditation. I told myself, I feel very rested. I went to sit, Brother Teo. I don't want to lie down, because when lie down, because of the tiredness, I will fall asleep. But because since I did the lying down already, so this time I'm going to do the sitting meditation. So I sit, Brother Teo. So what happened is, wow, I tell you, okay, how it unfolds, I tell you. So I sit, and then the heart, the heart, I will meditate at the heart, sitting down. Okay, I stay at the heart. I stay at the heart, right? So the heartbeat was like nothing much, it's like very subtle, very subtle. Then after that, Brother Teo, it transformed, it transformed, it manifests into magnified I mean, it magnified into very slow heartbeat, you know.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
cannot
yeah.
hear the sound, brother. There's
Correct,
no
correct,
sound. You only
correct.
witness.
It's like you are not having the heartbeat at all.
Yes, yes. There is no sound, no nothing, right? But
Yeah,
it's a witnessing of the heartbeat in slow
correct,
motion, you know,
correct,
brother.
correct.
Okay, so I mean, it's just showing that. After that, it manifests again, no, brother. It manifests again, huh? I mean, now I'm talking to you in a very quick manner, huh?
Correct, correct.
Because of the
Yeah.
explanation. So
Yeah.
it manifests into the area where the problem is, you know, brother.
Oh, luckily, no wonder.
Okay, but the problem is just showing you, brother. It transform and manifest into this so-called pain, you know, this so-called pain that arise, peak, and then it went to the peak, and then after that it dissipate, okay, and then it is being rooted out like that, brother. It vanished. So after that, I finish, right? I mean, when it's all gone, right, brother Teo, and I wake up, my body no longer in pain anymore.
Wow, sadhu, sadhu. Means you have cleared that karmic thing, yeah. Sadhu.
Yes. So I have cleared the karmic thing, you know, brother Teo. Okay.
Sadhu, sadhu.
So when I wake up, I feel very good, and then I know all things resolve, you know, all the karmic thing resolve. It's like I have to root up the karmic through my meditation, you know.
Yeah, and you have to express your gratitude towards whatever triple gem or great being that helped and supported you.
Yes, correct. I was full of joy, and then the first thing I did is, of course, to show my gratitude and appreciation. You know that the thing is, in my understanding, it says that I must see it, you know, to root it out. You know,
That's why your nature will tell you one.
Yes.
You must meditate. Then you finally you will come to find out. We're lying down, like you say, make you very tired, and you cannot see any progress. Then you will decide to do the correct thing by sitting.
Yes, correct.
Sometimes you have to sit. You have to sit. Then, like you say, you know how to stay at the heart. Then that thing starts to happen.
Yes. So, brother, so this trust and the relaxation is so important. Very important. Without that, I cannot do this.
You cannot break free.
I cannot break free from this karmic problem, you know.
Yes, but that one is what Wu Wei is all about. You do not resist. No need to act. Non-interference. You just allow, let things be. Well, this is nature. When you have faith in your karmic and your spiritual nature, you will just continue to do this work. That's why sincerity, faith, and perseverance will bring forth the way. And all this will happen. The cultivator of the way will understand. Then you just endure. Then everything will just like clear, no problem. Very good, Sadhu.
So brother, so after that I'm back to normal. So I'm so much gratitude and confidence that if without this bodhisattva vows, without this bodhisattva vow, I cannot. Not easy. I cannot cope. I cannot cope, you know. And this trust is so important, you know. I trust my nature to meditate, you know, brother. And no interference from the mundane mind, you know. But seriously, brother, because of the pain, right, I realized that I need to rest and meditate to feel good about the body, you know.
Correct.
Okay. So
you have to go through all those phases.
Yes. So that's why I say in the 1 week plus, I'm enduring this, you know, enduring this. I know that I cannot rush into it. I have to be very patient. It's really a test for me in terms of my patience, my faith, you know, my perseverance, you know. When the time comes, it will manifest by itself and show it to me, you know, how to overcome it, brother. But it probably a test for me, so that I have to experience it for myself, that this is a very, very abnormal test for me, you know.
Correct. Yours is a bit different because it's connected to your karmic past that you have to go through this. Last time, what happened to me in the early days of my cultivation was I need to break through pain also because every time I see the pain, finally, after a long period of sitting, the pain keep on coming. And I remember during the early days of my cultivation, I was going through this 3-day tune night on weekend, 8 precepts under Ajahn Yantro. Then I remember he told me, body is just a body. Mind is mind. Mind never the body. And body never the mind. We choose take care mind. So I remember that. Then when I was on my last day, I remember the pain has become like very strong, unbearable. Normal people would have given up or break down already. So what happened was, deep inside my mind, I want to develop the understanding. That's why I make that determination. I say I will sit through it. Yeah. Because the thought keep on arising, that wrong thought, no, say, you continue, you may paralyze. Your leg may not move. Because you may just die. So what happened was, deep inside my nature, I knew I have to break free. So I tell myself, because I recall what the Buddha said before he sat underneath the Bodhi tree and become enlightened. Oh, that one, of course, to too great an extent, I say, not until even if he is not enlightened, he will continue to sit until he is enlightened. Not until even the blood, everything dry up also, he will continue to say. Oh, of course, I don't make that extensive type of aditana or determination. I just say, whatever happened, let it be. Means my leg paralyzed, never mind. I will just see it through. Then I continue to see, no. Then the pain come, no, really very severe, like at the verge of you giving up already. Then at that moment, the understanding suddenly came, no. Body is just a body. Mind is mind. Mind never the body. Body never the mind. So it's like that pain will trigger off the negative thought or aversion to push it away. Suddenly gone, no? Like it flashed through the understanding there. Then I confidently continue to sit. No? Then what happened was my sati take over. No? Because the mental hindrance gone. The fear of that pain that will trigger off the leg paralysis or that thought which has the attachment means the negative craving which is a mental hindrance. So you got the first two mental hindrance, sensual desire, you will miss that dislike for that pain, the aversion to that one gone. No? Then what happened was because of the understanding that flashed through the faith, the sati take over in you. Then the sati went in. Oh. Then all of a sudden, there is this flash of very bright light, flash through my consciousness. Then immediately after that, like there is a shift of consciousness. Then the whole pain that was so severe down there, like totally gone. Then there was a lot of joy, a lot of understanding. Oh, really, body is just a body. Then I like that awareness is separate from the body. That pain is actually from the sensation of the mundane mind that rejected it, cling onto it, and like develop the aversion to it. Then I want to find out, how come now completely gone? What is happening? Then I went down to the same place again. And then I start to see the pulling and all those things, that movement inside there, that trigger of the nerve to send the signal to my mundane mind. Because I was able to free from the mundane mind is because my sati took over and I was with the awareness. That's why the first jnana knowledge, paricheda, namarupa paricheda jnana, is the mind is able to separate, to understand that form is form, mind is mind. That insight knowledge is not just a knowledge that Namarupa is form and mind. No, it goes beyond that. It's when your mind enters sati and can separate, because there were other occasions that happened also. When I was doing the dynamic one, the itchiness one. That's why my sati, when I stabilize it, make it continuous, then it's like a layer of pure awareness energy. Separate the itchiness out. Then when I slow down, the thing come back now for me to see. That's why I know when the mind in sati, it can separate. That's why it's separated. Then I knew what it is, that there was a lot of joy. And because of that understanding, from that moment onward, I think, which is about almost 40 years already. I think that time was 80 something, the beginning. Oh, sorry, 86, 87 or 88, I forgot already. So from that moment onward, I got no problem with pain, with sitting and rolling. Whatever pain come, I just relax into it and maintain the silent mind, the sati. Then it went through. No more problem. That's why after that I can sit and teach for 3-4 hours. Even at the retreat, you saw me when I was in the early younger day. I can just sit through whole day, no problem. But now, of course, as the age catch up, I can still do it, but no point. Why you want to become a hero? When I can rest all this body, I should rest. Because Vincent told me the thing which is very good. He said, all this, what acid, lactic acid. Is it lactic acid? You sit too long. He said the lactic acid accumulate. That's why it caused my back pain and all those things. Yeah. So because of that, he said must do that exercise. The leg stretch out, then do and like clear the lactic acid and all those things. That's why after that, I try not to be a hero and sit for too long, because it's not about how long you can sit, it's your understanding. Once you endure through, you clear, you understand, finish. Even like Xuan Hua, I remember Master Xuan Hua, my refuge teacher, he shared in his biography the same thing. He said in the olden days, when he started cultivation, he did filial piety near his mother's grave for 3 years, I think, 2 or 3 years, I forgot. He endured the winter, everything, because that part, northern China, is very cold, and during the winter it's snow. Then he just stay in a hut, and he can just like have sometimes 1 layer of the robe or 2 layer or whatever. Then no warm clothing, nothing, he endured. But later on, after he become more established, he shared the Dhamma differently. He said no need to show off all those things. All those are not necessary. He said now I go, I wear warm clothing, I wear more. That's why all this understanding will come, because body is still a body. We need to develop the understanding. That's why my teacher, Chantra, very good. He said, although mind is mind, body is body, we choose take care of mind, correct? But body important too, he said, because the body must harmonize with the mind to allow us to cultivate. There must be harmony. So if you need to take care of this body, you have to, but not to attach, to cling, to grasp and crave. That is delusion. But taking care of the body so that it will last you longer, like you maintain your car, that one is useful. Understand? You don't overrun it, overexert it until it breaks down. Then that time, maybe car got replaced. But our physical body, at the moment, not many. You can replace maybe a few things, like kidney replacement, transplant, they call it transplant, a better word, heart transplant. But a lot of things cannot transplant. Your brain cannot transplant. So all this you have to develop the understanding. Okay, Poh Cheng? So this is something very good, very beautiful, and the sharing will help a lot of other people. Sadhu.
Yeah, sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Brad, you're talking about this karmic thing. This karmic thing is different from my previous bodily pain when I'm doing sitting. Okay, since Brother you talk about the bodily pain, right? I also had this in 2016, when I first meditated, just before I go for my first retreat, which is a one-day retreat. So this bodily pain I also had. I think I also share with Brother in the Cameron Highland retreat. So I started to learn, right? And then this bodily pain, I mean the leg pain, the leg pain, but this so-called training of, I was training myself, preparing myself to go for a one-day retreat at home. So then I experienced this bodily pain during meditation, the sitting meditation, which is different from this particular karmic pain. You know?
Oh, definitely. That's why I say yours is complicated by the karmic thing.
This is karmic pain that trigger the pain, not because I sit therefore become
it's not
pain,
the normal physical.
Not the physical pain. So this pain is very elusive, like it disappear, come, disappear, come, you know.
You cannot pinpoint it. You cannot detect it.
Yes, cannot detect. So while I was like, when I lie down, I don't feel the pain. So I check every part of my body where the pain is. So I kind of move it, like doing a test, like, you know, move it.
You
Where
cannot
is the
find.
pain? I cannot
Inside
find.
the heart.
Yes. So it's like, wow, very scary in the sense from a mundane point of view. It's very scary. You don't know where is the pain. So actually what happened is, I told my husband about it. And he said, go and see a doctor. You know, I said, no, this one doctor cannot help me one. You know? So anyway, that's our conversation. This one is the doctor cannot help me. If doctor go and touch my body, twist here, twist there, the one that take care of your bone.
That one, chiropractic. That one you have to avoid. That one really twist. Sometimes if they are not good, it can actually create more problem.
Yes, exactly. I'm always scared of people like that to touch my body, twist here, twist there. Instead of helping me, make me more painful and
worse,
problematic. Worse. So I said, no, I don't want. I don't need a doctor. I just need to meditate, you know, and rest, you know. So that is my conversation with my husband, you know. That was very concerned. Of course, out of concern, he was saying, you must go and see a doctor, you know, that kind of thing. So this one doctor cannot help me, you know. I know I know deep inside, this one doctor cannot help me, you know. But luckily, like Brother Teo, you know, I said, this spiritual cultivation, this Bodhisattva wow, really saved my life, in that sense. In that sense, so the faith I had, the confidence I have, you know, it's really like how you said it is unshakable, Brother Teo.
That's why what we share with you and other Kayamita is invoke the power of Marisa for guidance, protection, and blessing from all these great beings. So the blessing, the protection is very important for your form and mind. So now you see, that's why I say you should have gratitude to thank all these great beings. Here is the way they protect your form and mind. Our form and mind is very fragile. Sometimes anything can just cause it to be gone. Then no more tool for us to continue. But because we requested for this, like this life, actually Kuan Yin saved my form and mind 3 times, 3 occasions. So it is very amazingly marvelous because people who don't understand. Like this one is karmic, but you can clear it because of your merits, your understanding, and the great beings' help. Without all this assistance, not easy. That's why we have to seek their blessing, their protection, then of course their guidance. So blessing, protection, and guidance are the 3 very important requirement for Bodhisattva to continue with the cultivation. So sadhu, very good.
Yeah, sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. But this is a part one. There is one more small part that I want to share, but I do not know whether got time or not.
You can continue. Yeah.
Okay, so what happened is like Brother Teo said, I actually, of course, full of gratitude, full of joy to the Triple Gem and greetings, the Bodhisattvas. So I really so grateful, so happy that I survived it and I'm able to cultivate again,
Sadhu,
I was full of joy, I jump out of my bed, I'm on my meditations. First thing I go to the altar and then
you
say my
express your
thanks,
gratitude. Sadhu, sadhu.
because I can move again, I can move again. Wow, I tell you, so much joy. And it's really saved my life. If not, I will be, I don't know what can happen. But anyway, not important, but it saved my life. So the second part of it, is because of this karmic thing that happened to me, right? So my body, actually, although I do not know where is the pain coming from, but my body actually on the left side and the right side of my waist, I can feel the hardening of the muscle,
Oh, okay.
Okay. Although the pain is not there, but it's the hardening, like the muscle is very tense. I know it's not like flexible.
You can have the sensitivity.
Yes. So it's like although the pain all disappear, the disturbance, I would say the disturbance disappear. But this little tension on the waist is still there. Immediately after that, it is still there. But after that, it disappeared away. It disappeared away. So I can see that, wow, this one really go away, Wow, then I feel very
completely ruled it out.
Yes, rule it out. And then after that, in my I cannot remember exactly whether it's my next meditation or a few meditation later. You know what I see again, brother? So I this time I can do lying down meditation without falling asleep. Okay? So I did the lying down meditation on one of the weekend, Okay, so I lie down and meditate. So as usual, I stay in the heart, right? So the heart, it is the same thing happening again. The heart will manifest the magnified bit of the heart. Yes. So you witness that. After that, through the trust, brother, through the trust, what happened? The whole thing moved to the area that had the problem earlier on. And then it showed the pulsation.
Oh, sadhu,
It
sadhu.
saw the pulsation. Wow, so clearly, the pulsation and pulsation and pulsation,
Sadhu.
Yeah. Then after that, okay, and then after that, I go back to my heart again, Okay.
Sadhu.
And then after that, everything when I wake up is back to normal.
Wow,
then from
sadhu.
there, from there, I understand that, okay, this is really no more a problem to me anymore.
Correct. You will come to know completely rooted out already.
Yes. Because it showed me the pulsation, the life force pulsation from the heart go to there,
Correct,
and then and then after that I go back to my heart. Everything by itself, it manifests, transform. I didn't do anything. It's just through the trust, like Brother said.
Through the trust, you will see and witness all those things.
You witness all these things, So it's so amazing, that the relaxation, although I tell you, I've been suffering. I've been suffering for like 1 week plus, but every day I just relax and relax. Actually, I'm so thankful that my husband is helping me. I'm not doing much. So I just relax, meditate, meditate, just to understand the relaxation.
That was very important.
So because of that, right, Brother Teo, I'm able to go through via the trust that do it all these things for me, If not, I cannot, because the bodily pain
you cannot. That's why the last support is very unique one, very powerful.
Yes. If not, I cannot.
That one is let nature decide, Wu Wei. Then that nature will move. Meant to be will be, you clear. That's why that last trust is non-interference. It's just let things be, accord and flow, and that nature will know how to move. That's why that nature is intelligent. It has the wisdom. It is pure nature. And that one transcends duality. it doesn't hold on to duality and all those things. That's why it's very beautiful. Very good, sadhu. Yeah.
So Brother, exactly the Wu Wei that Brother
Yeah,
talk
Wu
about,
Wei.
right?
Yes.
Yeah. No. Actually, I
No
was full of joy
interference.
when
Yeah.
I was full of joy when you shared that on which day last week, is it?
Correct.
Oh,
Yes.
this one match with what my meditation is all about,
Yes. Yes. Wu
without
Wei. Yeah.
yes, the nature just do by itself, just do the
Correct.
meditation
Yes.
by
Yes.
itself.
Yes.
Yeah,
Sadhu.
you just trust the nature, but before you can trust the nature, you must be totally relaxed,
Yeah,
So
and
in
have
that,
the faith. Yeah, have the
yes,
faith and
yes,
perseverance.
correct. You also have to endure whatever it comes your way,
Perseverance.
Otherwise, you cannot,
Yeah, you
you
cannot.
cannot, you
Cannot
cannot
break
do
free.
it.
You
Yes,
cannot break
cannot break
free.
it. So from these two meditation, right, I really break free from it, Brother.
Sadhu,
Yeah, the
sadhu.
sadhu. Thank you, Brother. Thank you, Brother.
Thank you
Yes.
for the very good sharing.
Thank you for your
Today very
guidance and
good,
the
sadhu.
sharing.
Thank you.
Sadhu.
So let us rejoice with the good sharing by Sister Alicia and also Sister Poh Cheng and also Engbi's good condition to nominate them. So let us rejoice. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay. Then we now will share merit, transfer merit. Then we will do the closing puja, starting with the Devas. Akasata cha bhumata devanaga mahindika punyang tang anumoditva cirang rakantu loka sasana Ita wata camehi sampadan punya sampadan sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampati siddhya idang menyatinang hotu sukhita hontu nyatayo idang menyatinang hotu sukhita hontu nyatayo Idang menyatinang hotu sukhita hontu nyatayo Deo satu kalena sasa sampati hetu cha Vito bhavatu loko cha Raja bhavatu dhammiko Imina punyang kamena Mame bala samagamo Satang samagamo hotu Yawa nivana patiya Sadhu Sadhu Sadhu. Okay, you can now pay respect mindfully to Lord Buddha, Kuan Yin Bodhisattva, and all the worthy ones. Then we shall end the whole Zoom session. Thank you so much for the participation. Sadhu.